Jimmy Garoppolo is a guy that when he's healthy, he's a great teammate. He's a great worker. He's a great player. He gets results. He wins in big games. His struggle has been to stay healthy. I'm curious. You're a guy that played in the league a long time. Brian's a guy who played a long time. Is the quarterback position is it overrated when you talk about injury prone just because people take a beating? Or are there things that you got to go back maybe in off seasons and say, hey, can I train differently? Is there a different piece of equipment? I'm just curious of how you look at that.
I think there's multiple ways of looking at it. Part of it's just bad luck, just straight up bad luck. And I think that's where you look at Jimmy of running down the sideline, scrambling or doing different things. There's some guys that might be, deemed injury prone. I don't think he's one of them. And like you said, when he's on the field, the results speak for themselves. I mean, the numbers were staggering for what the 49ers were when he was on the field in comparison to what he wasn't before Brock Purdy showed up. So Jimmy, I remember when he first got to the 49ers, I was starting a game in San Francisco. I've crossed paths with him before. He is everything you want in a franchise quarterback. And I'm excited to see what he can do there because I think he's going to do great things. Obviously, you see his capabilities when he's on the field, but just his demeanor, the way he talks in press conferences, the way he carries himself, all of those things matter. I think that when you start talking about injuries, you're worried when major injuries start piling up, when you're talking about joints and you're doing different things to this type of stuff. And I know he's had a couple of those, but I have no hesitation or reservation as far as his ability to get out there and play. Sometimes you got to be smart on coaches play calling or different things like that. Josh does a really good job of protecting the quarterback. There are certain times and certain aspects where maybe a Kyle Shanahan type of system would expose you to more injury, or other offenses that have a 7-step drop back game or an empty passing game where you're going to get teed off on a bit more. I remember Mike Martz, who I got drafted to in Detroit. Phenomenal offense, unbelievable offense. But the protection wasn't always there. He was willing to take risks, and those quarterbacks, the sacks that were given up, those pile up. And unfortunately, injuries here and there, being able to overcome those are going to happen. But when you're consistently getting sacked at the rate like the Joe Burrow is getting sacked, I have huge pause there because those tend to really pile up quickly, and everybody sits and say, "Well, what happened to Carson Wentz? Carson Wentz got beat up, and his body still probably hasn't recovered." I mean, I was with Andrew Luck in Indianapolis his rookie year, and I was like, "Stop taking unnecessary hits. Don't look for contact because those all add up over time." And everybody sits there and makes fun of Peyton and Eli for flopping or going down. There's something to be said for the number of games they continuously started. And you might say that this is no, that was a plan in place, much like you said. And I do the same thing with some of these younger guys in the NFL. I did the same thing with Baker when he got there. Don't take unnecessary hits. One extra yard is not going to make a difference. A separated shoulder will make a difference. A broken ankle, a torn ACL, whatever it is, we take enough hits as quarterbacks. Don't go looking for them. And the same thing with Bryce Young, right? He's a guy that's smaller statue. Slide, get down, get out of bounds, get rid of the ball, find your check down, do all of these things. And I think Jimmy does a really good job of that. I'm excited to see what he's going to do within the framework of that offense and the reunion of some of those pieces, but also the addition of what that offense can be with because of the capability to run and pass.